Indrani and I'm reading Wishcraft. How to get what you really want. Wow. God, I wished I'd read that 40 years ago. Anyway, this is something that I want to read out loud for women of a certain age, my age and maybe a few years younger. Let's see, where is it? Did you ever hear of a little boy who thought he was going to have to make a choice between a career or a wife? Should I read that again? Did you ever hear of a little boy who thought he was going to have to make a choice between a career or a wife? If you were a little girl, you probably weren't told that you were selfish unless you tried to do something that you wanted to do that wasn't for anybody but you. And then, especially if you got so wrapped up in it that you forgot to be nice to your baby brother or to set the table. It was made swiftly clear that you lacked the quality that makes for lovable people, and you'd better shape up. Women are raised for love. That is how we have been raised, to give it in order to get it. Our upbringing trained us to nurture other people. Little girls are brought up differently these days, but if you were born before, say, 1968, it's safe to say that covers almost every reader of this book, although I don't know anymore. Chances are you bear at least some of the marks of a nice, old-fashioned girlhood. You find it difficult to think in terms of what you want, to be, to do, to have, to see, because you've never been encouraged to think that way. Even if you've managed to keep your dreams alive, you may have trouble taking them seriously because you've never been taken seriously yourself. Your talents and interests were considered, at best, qualities that would make you more attractive to a man, provided you didn't develop them seriously enough to threaten him. You don't know how to ask for help in getting what you want because you feel you're supposed to give help, not get it. Even if you ask for help, you don't know how to put human resources to work for you in an effective, task-oriented way. Most women are personality-oriented. We are hypersensitive to personalities and feelings, and we get bogged down in them. By far, the most devastating, you are afraid that if you dare go after what you want, you'll be alone. Because that's selfish, and selfish means alone. So, she said, if you were born before 1968, but here it is 2020, and I know a lot of young women who still believe that. So let's see, when was this book published? This book was published in 1979. So for her, 1968 was just, a few years earlier. And I think she would be shocked to know that women are still being brought up that way. I know of a little girl who was in high school, and she was great at math, but the boy that she was interested in, he wasn't good at math. So she pretended that she wasn't so good either. That was less than 10 years ago. So how do we jump over the chasm of being nice, what we really want to do, and being successful at it? Well, I think the only way to do that is to be honest with yourself. To say, you know, as in my case, Indrani, I really want to start a foundation. And, but I think it's really going to disrupt the whole family. People are not going to want me to travel, and other people are going to ask, why am I leaving so often? And as it happens, some people even come up to me and say, so, do you still live in Houston? Yes, I do. I just travel a lot. I had to figure out how not to worry about what they were saying, almost not to care. And I cared for what my family, my children, my husband, my close people were saying. So it was a conversation, it was a negotiation, it was giving up something and taking something, and it was this dance, this sweet dance that we all learned to do. It wasn't easy. And I wasn't brought up to put any of my wants first. And I learned. So there's the good news, right? Yes, you can learn. You know how? You know how you start? You start by making a list of what you would absolutely love to do. And then let's say you have 5 things on that list. You number it 1 to 5. And you start working on number 1, not number 5. Start working on number 1. So when I was getting over my depression, my number 1 was wanting to do a triathlon and become a triathlete. And I didn't know how to swim. So I learned how to swim. Yep, I did. And in 4.5 months, I was able to swim a mile, albeit I came last, and I was really slow. And sometimes I did backstroke, and sometimes I floated in the race. But I'm a triathlete. So here's the invitation. Sign up for the hard thing. Expect to cry and be in pain and want to give up, and take a nap and start again. Because it's wishcraft, you know. And if we can wish it, we can figure out a way to do it.